And welcome back to the Pennsylvania Berwind. I'm Wasted Tries playing on this fantastic route created by Approach Medium and Bill M. And we are following this former Penn Central S2, Alco S2, which is on its way to make a number of drops. First of all, we're going to be starting in the little town of Berwind, which I think I've been saying that we would get to for at least 2 episodes, but now we're on autopilot actually going there, so we should be able to make it. I am confident we will make it, and we also have these Procore tank cars, which are going to the Standard Oil distribution facility in Old Town, and we also have some empty covered hoppers that are going to Universal Sugar. Next we have Amy. Amy has finished up in Highland. I think we skipped working on Amy for 1 episode, but Amy has dropped off all of the sugar at Sweets. And now we have some empty tank cars. And yes, we are going way over the speed limit. I didn't even manage to clear that switch. Now, starting with this video, I would like to make a slight change to the format, and I know that it's rather difficult to follow what's going on in the YouTube series, which, you know, it's a slow series, so I assume people are not looking at the video. Anybody who is watching them is not watching them closely. They might have them in the background, might be just listening to see if there's something interesting that might be happening. Might be watching them as a way to fall asleep. I know that's a perfectly valid reason to watch gaming videos, especially the slower ones like this one. But nevertheless, I think it's not interesting if there's no indication of what is going on screen other than what I'm saying. And of course, that you post the spreadsheet images to a file, which you can take a look at following the link in the description. But of course, you don't want to be looking at that all the time. You're not going to be looking at it all the time. So it's nicer to see things on the screen. And if all of my, let's say, spreadsheet method had been somehow programmed into a game, you would imagine that the game would provide some sort of notification of which tasks have just been completed and so on. So that's sort of missing. The only thing that's there is just my comment that a task has been completed. But you might not know what task it was, and I think it would be useful to have some visualization of that. So I think I will just put something on screen indicating that a task was completed and which task. Make it a little bit easier to follow. And by the way, one of the reasons why I don't say more on screen live is that there's so many things to do on this route that I myself don't necessarily know, other than the destination, where these what tasks are official tasks, which tasks are not. I have a general idea of a plan beforehand. Vicky is here. Vicky asks, any thoughts on the MEC S4? I think I haven't seen it, or if I saw it, it's a while ago and I forgot. I'm sorry. But I am in general very interested in that topic. I'm very interested in the MEC. And actually, earlier today, I was working on the Alco S2 cab interior, which is the last cab interior which I feel is not really done. And it's not done in terms of either the mesh or the textures. I think there's some other textures that need to be tweaked. And I'd love to be able to say that after that I will be able to move on to some other trains projects like completely different trains projects. But I think I'm going to continue. I have momentum to continue working on cabs and sort of improve my skills in that category. Maybe add some sort of scripted functions that produce some animations, things like, well, one thing that's really obvious is how the bell rope, the way that I have the bell rope at currently implemented as just a single plumb bob that's hanging from the ceiling that you would pull down on, which is, of course, not the way that the ropes really were, because you wouldn't want that thing swinging wildly around the cab all the time. So to have sort of more of an animated bell rope would be nice. And to make that actually look good might be beyond me. So we shall see. Yeah, for example, I don't actually know where the bulkhead flat cars are going there. I think I have an idea, but not 100% confident I know. But the tank cars here, these empty tank cars, all we are doing is we're pushing them into this fuel distribution facility and finishing off an unloading task which was left undone. We'd simply dropped off the cars here at this unloading facility before, several episodes ago. So yeah, we could retag these cars as none now. One thing that I would like to do is come back and maybe edit some of the existing splines, or to remove this shadow, or replace those splines with a better one. It really is noticeable both playing the game right now as well as on screen. I feel like they were probably the best grass assets splines that existed back in the day, and I don't feel that they're that good enough now. And of course, this is where maybe the plant factory assets, grass clutter, would be a good replacement for them, but I don't have that service pack yet because of the issues that have been experienced so far. May have been fixed, but that's not clear to me. I'm going to wait until it is clear. So yeah, we just dropped off a couple of these cars. Probably it should work to unload a couple at a time, but I extended the track slightly, but not very much. It's weird how there's one car that looks like it's not coupled there. Yeah, kind of mystified there. What's going on? Okay, so we should be able to unload a couple more, or maybe 3 more in this unloading event. All right, so Adair has finished unloading 2 boxcars. Of course, Adair was just navigating to this destination, so you can see that the head locomotive basically navigated to the little, underneath the little icon there for the center of the industry. But what we really should have done, prototypically, would be to pull up all the way to the end of the unloading part. Oh, tram is stuck. So tram is going to be our next target. And you can see with this length of track, this is where the MI2 really comes in handy. Okay, it said tram was stuck, but tram only has to do a runaround, and tram is moving. So, yeah. Okay, back here with Isla, and Isla is going to the Berwind and White Eureka store, and I hadn't realized that the Berwind and White Eureka store is actually kind of like a backwards spur track there. We're just passing it. This is it, I guess. Berwind and White Eureka store. Kind of neat. So we're going to have to do, unfortunately, a runaround. I thought this is going to be an easy task to just slip those cars back there. Yeah, so we can go in here. Now, if I had known that, I probably would have done it a slightly different way. Oh, Vicky has to go, sorry. Bye. Now we're going to have you do a runaround train. All right, Amy here at Highland is going to just pull forward here. We can drop off one more load. Unfortunately, we will have to come back. So the way I have it set up now, it looks like I could have unloaded almost all of those cars, but minus this one. Now, the front two are set up to offtake diesel, I believe, and then the back two are set up to offtake fuel oil. And the idea is that all the tanks here in this quadrant are fuel oil tanks, and all these tanks are diesel tanks. In reality, you could probably set it up so that one track was for fuel oil and the other track was for diesel. That would just be some underground tanks, but that's not the way it was set up originally, and it adds a little bit of extra challenge, so I'm playing it this way. So we're going to have to do just one extra switching move, but it's not too onerous. Now, Jessica had finished up in the last episode at dropping off at Grundy's. That was a task completed, of course, and Jessica just needs to put this train back together and then run into Allegheny because the sand cars need to go off the map at Juniata. And actually checking all the cars that are going to be leaving the map for the remainder of this playthrough, at least if we could finish everything today game time, which we won't be able to, but if we could, then everything would be leaving the map at Juniata side, everything that is leaving the map. But of course it won't finish today. There'll be some other tasks. We'll get that randomizer to figure out some other things that are probably going to leave the map on the Grafton side, but it is interesting and it's easy to sort of save thinking time that essentially everything now is leaving the map on the Juniata side. And is there a siding here? There is a siding, but it's not long enough to run around this entire train, that's for sure. Okay, we can stop it here. Couple back up. Okay, we don't need to see the commodities anymore. So there is actually a Y track back here, so I think I'm just going to pull into that Y. Pleasantville Junction. It's a big Y. It's interesting the way that the route is detailed. There used to be quite a long siding, but it has been removed. And the siding that remains is just very minimal. And quite overgrown as well. And if I recall correctly, the industries in this Pleasantville area have all been basically, they might still be working, they might still have business, but they don't have any tracks for loading or unloading. So none of those industries there are serviced by the railroad. Some more splines that are having some of those shading issues. It looks sort of black almost in my screen. Yeah, we do take a while to stop. Let's look at this sign here. It's interesting. Flea market and antiques. Kramer's Veterinary Clinic. Yeah, that's very appropriate. Love these old crossing signs. Dare just has that one more to go. You can do it. There we go. Try to spot this as accurately as possible. Get one more car, maybe. Looking good. Okay, now Isla can navigate to Berwind, please. Okay, Amy is just going to pull forward sufficiently to drop off a few of the cars off the end of this train. It doesn't have to be off the absolute end of the train, just enough so that we can pull one more car length back to drop off that one still filled car. Now, it doesn't matter which track we drop it at, but I think it's slightly better to do it at this spot here. Yeah, and that's close enough to the end. We might as well pull forward and make it the last couple cars, right? Gosh, where is the switch? Further down? And there we are. So is this one. Now it's 5 cars from the rear. And fortunately with this track, we don't have to worry about blowing the horn all the time. And this one is a service road, so I've been practicing that that one does not require the horn. Zooming out, because otherwise you would tend to forget where exactly that car is and where exactly we are. All these sheds look the same. They are the same. We have plenty of padding. I was pressing the space bar, but it was not reacting. I don't know why. Did not have the game selected or something? Didn't have the right window selected? I wasn't doing anything. That should be good. All right, we navigated here, not necessarily knowing exactly how far this would get. I don't know exactly where the end of that track is. But it looks like we can unload 2 boxcars at a time. Let's kill the bell. All right, Jessica has gotten off the train here on the Pleasantville, or maybe it's the Moss Creek branch. And now this train is being commanded by Waza, one of our engineers who is capable of navigating outside of the map. And you're going to go right on to Juniata and then to the portal. In reality, this train might stop at Allegheny. Actually, let's do that. Let's have this train stop in Allegheny and potentially pick up some other cars that are leaving the map at Juniata. Okay, Andrew has made it into Allegheny. And the way this train is set up, it looks like Andrew is going to be very well placed to head off the map with some of these other tasks. And in order to facilitate that, I am definitely going to decouple this SW1200. Going the wrong way. Starting to lag a little bit because of the density of the details in this general area. Yeah, here's where I really wish I could lock a switch. But I think I can pull all the way down here to this crossover track. Yeah, that's going to work out well. Then I don't sandbag Andrew at all. Excellent. Now let's click on Andrew. Okay, I changed my mind. We're going to keep on going with this train and go into Briars. And you can stop because you don't need to be going anywhere. Navigate to Briars. Briars grain out. Pick up and drop off. So this is Tram. Tram navigated to this track, but didn't quite make it all the way. And this will mark another task that's completed because this is just this one car that the team track needed. Okay, let's get you out of the way here, though. This is Eric, by the way. Eric has been sitting there for the longest time. Another track layout here that's designed seemingly to make things difficult. Trying to find out what this track is named, but I have a feeling it's going to be difficult. Difficult for me to get my cursor on it. Okay. Have to zoom out to find out what it's called. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit awkward to have that track running car, trackmobile. We certainly don't want to foul up the switch on the other side either. Okay, good. Adair is going to pull forward, of course. And I'm going to say that most of these cars can probably unload in the next iteration. Most or all. I hope all. Yeah, it looks like not quite all. So if we had pulled up to where we should have pulled up in the first time we arrived, then it would have been 3 movements. But that's okay. By our standards, this level of inefficiency is more like efficiency. Don't know where that track ends, but we're going to assume that this is the completion of this task. There we go. I'm going to leave those there, because why not? We've got places to go, people to meet. Huh, that switch did not throw automatically. I'm again baffled. But yeah, that is, I believe, one of the urgent tasks for today. So that is, that's going to be a good one to finish off. Mother Slug is here. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. And we're operating some very short trains today on this little branch line. I'm not sure if this is considered the Vonny branch. I think so. Isla and her little Alco S2. Wayne feeds. Okay, it's going. Outbound spent grain. Excellent. So we are here with Philippe. 2 Conrail SW1200s. And one of these SW1200s needs to go into service today. It's the blue one. Put it in realistic mode for a rare look at our inside of our cab. Of course, in realistic mode, unlike simple mode or easy mode, when you bring down the throttle, the locomotive continues to move, as would exist in realistic life. Real live life. Amazing how that works. Put on a little brake here, a little independent brake, just to bring it down to 15, the speed limit, as we go through the station. Wow, the horn is very quiet from inside the cab. Let's bring the throttle forward a couple notches. Okay, not 5 notches is not what I intended, but maybe the mouse. I think the mouse is somehow backwards versus what it should be. I think I can fix that. I'd say this is the cab that looks the best of the ones that I've modeled so far. Let's go outside just to have a look at where we've gotten to. Gotta get out of this mode. Okay, let's just stop here, decouple. And then only Philippe will be backing into the service area. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Oops, no, that's not correct because Hank is in there. We are going to be taking Hank out. Hank is done being serviced today. Oops, we almost didn't get into the right track there. Well, looks good now. I need to get those keyboard shortcuts so that I can actually manipulate the brakes while looking forward or backwards. Not that I don't like to use the actual brake handles or anything. That brake is almost not doing anything. Okay, there we go. Took the train brake all the way up to... Okay, we still need to back up a little bit. I'm going to use the easy mode for that. Clipping the corner a little bit there, but that's okay. Ordinarily, we'd get out here and go to the cash register and be all done in 5 seconds, but this is trains, so it's going to take several days to service Philippe. And in the meantime, we have to go back to Adair, of course. Tram is tantalizing close to Universal Sugar as well. It's all looking so good. We are actually on track to do things, although not quite. I didn't really thought that we were going to make it to Standard Oil Refinery today, but didn't quite happen. Andrew, you're going to start loading this train with grain. Mother Slug, thank you for the tips. Okay, Briars needs 12 covered hoppers of grain. And I'm going to say that 2 covered hoppers can load at a time. Okay, we're going to sit on Adair. We're not going to let Adair off the hook here. All right. So today, in this episode, we managed to accomplish 2 of the urgent tasks. And we definitely have the grain underway. And we finished off the Shawnee track. So these covered hoppers here being loaded with spent grains, this is not going to represent a completion of a task because this loading type of operation, we have to actually take the car on off the map in order to mark it as complete, but still this is nevertheless something significant done that we started several episodes ago. Okay, those are full. So we can navigate on to, and yes, that is unrealistically fast filling on time. Standard oil diesel on load. Yeah, this might be a rare case so far where Tram is actually baffled about how to get there. Okay. No problem. We can definitely help you there. It's not far away geographically, but I guess it's enough switches that Tram was not able to figure that one out. So, all right, we're going to leave off with almost the same look that we started the episode with. Certainly the same engine, the same Procore tank cars. And now we are 2 tasks down with this particular train and on our way to the Standard Oil facility in Old Town, which is where we're going to pick up next time because the number of tasks that we have left to complete on this route has advanced quite significantly. 3 tasks completed this 1-hour session, and then several other trains very far advanced in completing some of the other tasks that we have outstanding. So I feel like we took a great leap forward here, and we'll be doing more of that next week. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Pennsylvania Berwind operating session, Wasted Tries, and I hope I'll see you again next time on the P&B. Thanks for joining.